Good morning, everybody. As promised, back at you bright and early, looking at where AMC is. Now, in this video, we're going to be taking into account the pre-market as we have seen it so far in the day, alongside the data coming from Stonko Tracker and, of course, Ortex too. So, the idea of this is to give us a picture as to what we could be possibly seeing today based on the data and what we should really be preparing for. Now, of course, it is only my opinion based on what I am seeing, but if you do enjoy this or do find it useful to any degree, do make sure to, of course, smash that like button and do subscribe. But with that being said, we're going to jump into the video and we're going to start off by looking at how the pre-market has been moving. So for this one so far, it is pretty typical. We're seeing the pre-market drop today, but it's about 3% down. And again, this is with volume of only 365k. Now, a key thing to remember, as I'm sure most of you guys already do, most retail investors do not have the ability to trade in the pre or post hours. And of course, today is no exception. So when we see these big drops in the morning or the afternoon after the market has closed, it doesn't necessarily mean that today is going to be a red day, but we are possibly looking for, I think it is very likely, to see that drop on open. Now, if we do see that drop on open, whilst it doesn't mean very much, what it does, in my opinion, is it does give people that shock, and I do believe that is the intended idea. Because even if we have a green day today, by starting down by 3%, the candlestick immediately drops to like here, as you can imagine. So people will open the market, open their apps or whatever, and have a look and see those losses immediately. Now, does it mean anything? No. Again, losses or profits are not realized until they are realized, until you sell the asset. But I do believe it is part of a psychological game that they are probably going to try to play. Now, other data that we need to look at for today, if you were wondering, the data from Stonko Tracker. Now, so far, 1 million shares available to borrow, and of course, according to this, it's a 1.3% borrow fee. Now, this is very interesting because, as we have discovered many times, the figures when it comes to these borrowed shares, or available shares rather, it varies significantly over time. We see it get down to the low hundreds of thousands, sometimes even lower than that, and then, funnily enough, it does start to rise up. Now, so far, this is what we're seeing for it, and it has been at 1 million for some time, but overall, we know how these figures work, and a lot of people do take them with a grain of salt, and I thoroughly would recommend doing that. Again, especially when it comes to things like Ortex and all of that sort of data, it is the self-reported data, and we should treat it as nothing more than that, because obviously this is the data that they want to show us, and the question is, what is it that they do not want to show us? Anyway, coming on to the Ortex data itself, it is coming from JD Ruckus again. This one was from 2 days ago, but as you guys can understand, it is from the closing bell on Friday, so it should be relatively accurate. He does post this on Monday as well, but at the time of filming, we are an hour before the market does open. But we will have a look at those figures as the day goes on. Again, it shouldn't be too different so far, but we will have a look at these ones to gauge a bit of an idea as to what we're looking at, alongside reading the quote from JD Ruckus himself. So, Ortex guy here with your closing bell update for Friday. It says that the short interest is over 20 and the Monday's FINRA report should continue bullish. The current mood: I often buy on red days, and this is not an exception. We moonsoon apes. So that is the quotation from Ortex guy. We'll have a read of the data as we see it. Now we'll go through this page first, and we can see over here the relevant information. Now, the things that I am looking at the moment, and again, we could run through all this, and we probably will, but just to highlight the main things which I'm looking at, we're going to start off at the bottom with the utilization. Still locked at 100%, of course, the maximum figure. It's been there for a very long time. And coming back to that point I just made about 1 million shares on Stonko Tracker, in my opinion, and like I said, I am not a professional, but how can there be 1 million shares available and utilization is still at 100%? Anyway, that's just the data that we see, and again, I may be wrong, it's just the way that I see it, and like I said, I am not a professional, so that's just my view. Anyway, other key things which I'm looking at is going to be the change in the cost to borrow, which is up by 2.47%. We'll have a look at those figures in more detail in a while, but yeah, that is a nice change. We're seeing other things which are up and down across the board, but really not much change in this data as of Friday. Now, the second page is, of course, showing us a more generalized view. We'll look at the short interest change of minus 0.51, giving us a total short interest percentage of free float at 20.59 and an Ortex estimated current SI of 106 million shares. Return shares at 3.5 million. Borrowed shares for the day were at 2.3, giving us a borrowed change of actually minus 1.25. Now this is a very interesting fact. It's a cost to borrow. Now, we were speaking about this a moment ago. The cost to borrow is going up over time. Now, what we're seeing here from the 1% range to the 2% range, all the way up to the 3% range almost, is it enough to cause some serious pain to shorts? No, I don't think it is. I think we need these figures to be significantly higher before it does really start to put that pressure on those short sellers. But clearly, the data is moving in the right direction. So you'll see it over here, like you said, we're looking at 1.25% on the low end and 2.7 on the high end, giving us an average of 2.3. Really not bad, and it is creeping up there. Again, still a lot of room to go before it is putting that intense pressure on the shorts, if you ask me. But that is one thing that, of course, we do not have to deal with. Because let's just think about it. When we hold our shares, we don't have to pay a maintenance fee, the borrow fee. We don't pay to borrow our shares. Now, of course, over time in the past year or so, this is a fee, the borrow fee, that the shorts have had to pay. And that is one of the benefits that we have on this side of the fence, alongside many others. But again, today, I am preparing for it all. We are probably going to open up red, as I did say, but looking for the day, we're looking for a potential low of 15 in my opinion, and again on the high end, we're looking to initially break above 20 if we're going to see a bullish day. But I do think that red morning is going to try and shock a lot of people. It probably will not at this point, but after the week or so of red that we have seen, it is a little bit alarming, and it does definitely get people thinking. Now, of course, most apes are not going to worry about it at all, but that is the intention. They want to get us thinking. And they want to get us to sell as well. Do not forget that, because of course it is cheaper for the shorts to cover if we do not hold. Anyway guys, that is it for this video. It's been a relatively long one compared to normal, but we did have a lot to speak about. More stuff as always coming at you throughout the day, as you would expect. I'll be back with you later for that too, so I hope to see you in that. So thank you for watching through till the end, but let me tell you about our Discord. So on your screen you will be seeing the N2S Finance Discord. Obviously it is split into multiple sections. Basically at the top we have updates from me and all that kind of good stuff. If you scroll down a bit further we have the main sections where we focus on cryptos, SPACs and other hot stocks including penny stocks, even stable growth stocks as well, and we even have a special AMC GME chat. If you scroll down you can see some research and DD from the community. We also have funny memes and you can see actual contributions from members down here. And again, if you do join us, it is completely free, link is down below. But if you do want to become a Patreon, you will actually get a pink sticker which will be displayed on your name. So your name will come up in pink as mine comes up in red down here, and that will show that you are a Patreon. But other than that guys, you can join completely for free down below. You do not have to pay anything if you do not want to. Thank you for watching, see you soon.